Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to Radio Works World, wherever you are in this world, and welcome to my show, Networking Host, and to share great conversations with myself and Marina Nani. And our topic today will be how do you maintain your network? Over to you, Marina.
Wow, I'm so excited to be here sharing your show. Charlie, it's been such a pleasure talking to you every single time. We have people from all over the world asking more questions and engaging, and this is so wonderful. You are a true connector. Actually, I know you are well known for being the godfather of networking. so so tell us, for our listeners who missed your first show when you shared your story, what made you decide that life is so much better when we connect with each other?
Yes, absolutely, Marina. Absolutely, Marina. Connecting as the network has been for some time. I've made a lot of connections and I've been validated by Coach D from the JT Fox organization as the godfather of networking. Over to you, Marina.
Wow, so I know everybody's thinking of networking as another way of getting business in, or maybe free marketing, or maybe a way of meeting people who got similar ideas, or who could be your suppliers, or who could be your clients. And most people don't have the patience or the passion to build their relationship, and they are thinking, oh, networking is not working. It's not true that your network is your net worth. What do you have to say to them?
Well, Nina, that's a very interesting question, and thank you for asking that one. Um, the most important thing also about networking is that you have to make connection, build the relationship, contact as well. So, yes, the question is going to be, how do you do that? You may have contacts that are far away from you, close by to you, and so forth. Thanks a lot to the internet and social media, um, it is good to all contact and in touch with your network without being pushy or being nagging on them. What I found the best thing to do is to make a list of your contacts that you have networked with. On your list, categorize them within industries, within what their likes are and what their interests are. Thereby, you can also then drop them an email, some of them depending on how the interest level is and how your interaction would be, is you segregate them within 2 weeks, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. Now, Will says, why would you want to be contacting someone 6 months later? Haven't they forgotten about you? That's where the social media part comes in. Staying abreast with what your connections are doing as well. Following them on social media, liking their posts, congratulating them, maybe an article they've on a birthday, sending them a birthday wish, etc. And that is how you maintain your network. And another factor as well is that you should at least have 20 to 30 people that you are in constant communication with, who are close by, not necessarily but that you can be interacting with on a regular basis. Over to you, Nina.
Wow, Charlie, people, especially people who start up their business now, and they don't really know whom they could trust. They look at networking with, let's say, not even open mind, because they think that's an unnecessary investment of their time, and perhaps they don't have the luxury of waiting for those relationships to grow, and they don't understand how they understand that networking perhaps requires a lot of determination and building up and edification, because each person you meet is potentially somebody you could work with. You could start a new idea, or you could help them, or they could help you. But I think what's happening, they don't have the luxury of time to wait for this relationship to mature, so they could monetize the networking on itself. And I know you've been creating that bridge between people for many, many years. And there are thousands of people all over the world who are recommending you, who I personally, I would recommend anyone to you, and I'll come to you and ask with whom you think I could work before I go any further. If somebody approaches me and they tell me they know you, they're halfway through. So I so much admire your life mission, because you dedicated decades of passionate belief that every single one of us is worth your trust. And I know you establish great relationship with people from all over the world. And I know because you know how I know, because everybody is nominating you for the W.O.R.K.S World Awards, and those people are coming from so many countries. I'm thinking, oh my God, how do they know you? And of course, knowing somebody like yourself is not only very, very important, but I think got a sense of double yummy, because you are fun to be with. You got a great sense of humor. You are somebody with a vast knowledge in business, and you I could say that you know it all and you have it all, because most of us, we have it all, but we don't know it all. But in your case, Charlie, I think you already know it all, and I wonder if it's anything left for you to learn. But coming back to our listeners who are just starting now, and they need somebody, they they need they need somebody to trust. They need a bridge. They need someone to take them by the hand and introduce them to a larger community of business people, like-minded people, soul-minded people, heart-minded people. What's happening when they approach you? What is that you do for them? I know you are opening not doors, you are opening gates, but what's happening? What's the experience? What our listeners could expect when coming to you?
Well, Marina, um, firstly, going back to the point that you raised, that people go to networking events not with an open mind. That is the most important part. A mindset, and going to a network event, you're going there with a specific mission, is to connect with people. Now, when you start out, it does tend to be a bit intimidating, especially if you're an introvert. But however, the main thing to do is to be comfortable with yourself and to just be yourself, along with not feeling good in that space, being an introvert. But most importantly, you've got to go with an open mind and be open to learning. As we've discussed before, is finding out, most importantly, what the other person does and how you could be of value to how you could help them. Then we will move on to the verification part, um, and also another important factor being authentic, genuine, and having a lot of integrity. I think that be the most important when networking is you be genuine. You cannot be putting on one personality when you're at networking events, yet you are someone else. Because people tend to sense that. And it does become a factor that is going to be detrimental in future. Because if somebody then approaches you and what you told them at the time, who you are and what you do, and you cannot deliver on, it is going to be a mar on something that you have probably attempted to build. Building a network, as you've mentioned, can take years. But then let us look at it and let us look at relationships. Any relationship takes some time to build. If maybe you would like to have a relationship with the opposite sex, obviously starts off with meeting one another, there's the regular phone calls, finding out what they love, what they like to do, what their passions are, what their hobbies are, what their missions are. And at the end of the day, you now know that person. There's nothing different with networking. However, it doesn't get as much as to that intimate scale. There is a level or an intimacy scale that is not at the personal level. Yes, there's a bit of personal connect with you better, the more genuine you are. Another factor we need to know in building that network and saying bringing value to the relationship. When contacting your network and staying in, find out how, it's just a courtesy call. Find out how they've been doing. What I've come to learn is that people like to tell you about themselves. Or if you have someone gotten an award, someone has been promoted at work, take a few minutes to send them a mail, drop them a call, give them the pat on the back. Shows them you have an interest in them. Now, question is exactly what it is I gladly will be able to. So at the end of the day, it is all getting all the information, and somewhere around the world or in my database, I know somebody who might be interested in what you have, and I would then connect the two of you together. And thank you very much, Marina, for your kind words. And I would like to also say thank you very much for my network for really coming out into support and nominating me for the upcoming awards. I am really honored and blessed to have you all within my life. Over to you, Nina.
Wow, Charlie, I was wondering, in terms of maintaining your network and having in mind that monetizing the network, it's all based on the principles you just listed. What is the one thing that everybody have to have in mind before going to a networking event? I know you mentioned it's about serving the world, and of course we have to make ourselves available to the people who need us. But the people who went once to a networking event and they couldn't follow through, or for some reason they are too shy, or maybe they don't know how to communicate their message, maybe they don't know how to explain who they are, maybe they are talking about what they do instead of who they are. What is one key top advice you could give them now?
Well, Maria, that is quite an interesting question. And I find that I would meet at and I don't see them at the next one, or they've got to a networking event. One specifically, you have to choose the event you want to be attending. For example, a mechanic would be going to motor shows and motor networking events to network with mechanics, etc. A baker would be going to a food-orientated event. Cakes, breads, foods, catering events, where he services. And I found that there is nothing wrong with going to these other events. The problem is, are you going there as a purpose of being a networker, or are you going to find people that you want to be doing business with? Now, if we take Charlie Monson, who's a networker, I could go to any networking event because I like meeting people and I like delivering services. So I would go to a motor event and know that I've somewhere in my database, if I have somebody with a mechanic or something, or with a baker, for instance, I can always connect these people together. The most important thing is people you find going to networking events when they don't go to others anymore is the experience they have. They find that the services they are rendering has no interest to the people. Now, the most important one, networking event. Different story. A business networking event is for business people who are like-minded, who share business, and who are business lessons. The business lessons, fundamentals, are all the same. Whether you're running a bakery, a mechanic, a painter, landscaper, builder, real estate agent, the message is the same. The message is actually how you should do it. Maybe examples given are related to another industry, but it doesn't mean it is specifically for that industry. You've got to take what we call key messages, consolidate them, and implement them within your business. Does that make sense, Nina? Over to you.
Total sense, total sense. And apart from making great friendships, apart from meeting total strangers, there is always the chance that you will discover yourself, because this is what happened to me, at least. Each time I connected with total strangers, I discover amazing people, including myself. It is something about being together with like-minded people that it's so unique. I can't even put it into words. You get inspired. You build your confidence. You while building other people's confidence when talking about their business. You see what they cannot see, and that is exactly what they need. That's exact oxygen or amount of oxygen they need right now to take their business to the next level, to take their idea into the manifestation, into that zone where it's all possible, because somebody, you just need one person actually to tell you, yes, I love it, it's possible. Because if you if you help only one person, that's enough. That means you pass the test of time. That means you realize something that helps somebody, and that's all you need to know about your business idea. That's one in a life once in a lifetime experience, when somebody is coming to you saying, thank you so much, you helped me so much, or thank you, you saved my life, or you saved my business, or you gave me another lifeline. And that's all you need, because then you know you have to master it. So I was wondering, what is the best way of mastering your skills in networking to move to the next level where you create your own community without stealing somebody else's clients?
Now, mentioned that when you mix up with like, they do inspire you because you are discussing a similar interest and you have people who are prepared to listen to you, whereas you too, and by asking the questions, they they see that you show an interest in what they are doing, and the most important part, tend to love helping people who are open to learning. You mentioned the fact that within discussions we pick up little things that have missed us. At some times, someone might be mentioning a certain sector or part of their business where they are struggling. You might have the same problem. But within this, with them, getting someone, or they're experiencing the same problem, but they're bringing it over to you, and you did not even realize that you are having that problem. You automatically just click in and give them advice. And when you get home or you look back at what you are doing, automatically you found the solution to your problem. And that is what comes. Another plus, network. We mentioned monetization, your network. Monetizing your network and having a net worth is understanding that if I referred someone to you, have I brought you value? And obviously, there will be a referral fee related to it. Now, it doesn't mean everybody you introduce to somebody is going to be paying you some sort of thing. When it is relative, go down, and that is where you get to monetize yourself. There are many other things you could do, is maybe write articles, do ebooks, do programs, to network. And obviously, people tend to support people who have interest in them. Mastering the skills of network is just being a genuine person, bringing a message to people about yourself that is genuinely true. The energy that goes around in that room or within the group of people that are discussing, if there is a connection. Now, if you are faking it and you you actually faking it until you can get into that circle, it's not going to work. Um, People tend to sense genuine emotions, body language. That is how they connect with people. I've met some people that you could actually identify it with body language that this is not really a person he says he is. And when you go and check up or follow up on him, he can really deliver what he said he could. Over to you, Nina.
Wow, Charlie, I always think that a big idea is always how should I put this? I'll say it anyway. A big idea is scary for some people, and it's scary because they feel lonely. And the reason I love networking and the reason I admire so much what you do is that once you step into this world where people connect and share their ideas and they build each other up, and nobody looks down on you unless they want to lift you up, I think everything changes. Once you step into the networking world, the chances are that you are going to change yourself. You are going to become a very different person. You are going to become kinder because everybody is kind to you. You are going to become better because everybody is better around you. And because everybody is bettering themselves. So it's not as if you enter a competition and you start competing against other people. It's the opposite. You learn that actually the one rule that is going to help you to achieve success fast is very simple. You only compete against yourself. You are your worst enemy anyway. So I'm saying that networking is not a place where you should be afraid of other people. Maybe networking is a place where you could see your greatness and maybe you get afraid of your own greatness, which is a different topic. Maybe we'll talk about it. But the way I see it is that it's like a new planet. It's like an ideal planet where you meet people who are like you. They have the same divine essence, but they are so different. And the difference between the people who are networking and the people who are not networking is that the second category doesn't understand that the sacred secret of life is sharing. Because networking is about sharing your big ideas. We are in a place where we don't have time to share gossips or share things which are not meaningful. We get together to share big ideas and to complement each other and to discover what is available out there for you and me equally, and how we could help somebody you never met before, somebody who needs you, somebody who needs a good word from you. So being economic with your praises, I don't think is going to help anyone. I think you should leave the shyness at the door and enter with an open mind. Just connect with people. Doesn't matter it's a virtual community or a real community. Doesn't matter you are part of the army of angels that Charlie created over the years, or you are just creating your own community and you start a meetup group, or maybe another form of community, another type of community. The most important thing is to step into that idea of networking, because the only time you are going to understand what you are made of is when you are going to see what other people see when they look at you.
Well, Nina, that is absolutely so true. The world's #1 wealth coach, J.T. Fox, states, anyone below you are the ones who's going to pull you down. People who are more successful than you are always going to want to pull you up, especially if you are open to learning from. Now, what do you bring to it? Another factor is you always have to thank the people. What influence do they reciprocating and saying, thank you for supporting me, thank you for making me aware of this. Share with them some articles or information that you find, maybe stumble on the internet, a good book you've read. Share it with them. And that way you learn and grow. Then we have a look at how do you actually bring, the main thing is bringing value to your network. A lot of people are looking, what value do you get out of your network? And if you sit down really and look at it, is where would we be now if it were not our networks? I don't think we'd be speaking to one another. So, because of the values we brought to our separate networks, we have connected or being connected by our network, and thereby our own networks are getting connected at a bigger pace, and it is actually growing. What I've learned over the years in networking, the more value you can bring to your network, the more value you have in it. Now, when people go and say value, they say, well, how much does your network, what's your net value of your network? Now, if myself, I took my net value of my network, it is a stupendous amount. But my value I have a network that if I may have a problem, or I need assistance, or I need to bring someone to them, if I need them to help somebody, they will always be there. I know who to go to. Then you mentioned a big idea some people think it's stupid. I can't remember the author of the quote right now, but it goes something like this. It was Robin Sharma. If your dreams do not scare you, they're not big enough. Yes, looks stupid, it sounds stupid, but it is your dream. You have to live your dream. And you need to be speaking to people about your dream. I'm going on about dream. I believe in visions. J.T. Fox again says, dreams are for sleepers, visions are for entrepreneurs. Because, and that is where I really understood the difference between a dream and a vision. A crack of a joke is, in a dream you wake up and then, oh, what happened? But on a vision, you will do whatever to achieve. You will drive and grind as that vision. But along the way, you're going to be meeting people you might be sharing the same vision. And then you could collaborate with them, share ideas, and that is how you grow. Over to you, Nina.
You see, I recently been to Ascot, and you know, people go there and they bet on a certain horse, and you know how that works. Anyway, I was thinking that when you make your
Okay.
bet, when you make your bet, you make the bet on the horse that is in a mud, not on the horse that is in a inner circle. And this is, in a way, what's happening at Radio Works World. People are thinking, oh, who is this or who is that? And what they don't understand that in no time, they become big names. They become amazing people simply because somebody bet on them. And I'm somebody who is always going to bet on you. No matter where you are in your life right now, I believe in you. I believe in you even if you can't believe in yourself. And actually, that makes it even more exciting for me. And this is what I see in networking. I see the chance to believe in somebody who doesn't believe in themselves because nobody else did before. I believe that every single one of us is made of the same essence, that divine essence. We are all coming from the ocean of love. And what makes the difference between us as individuals is just one simple fact. Some of us decide to use that divine essence and master it and make their journey into this life count, and they make the difference and the fortune. And some other people who got the same quantity of divine essence decide to ignore it and be the missing piece. Because this world, and I'm going to say this till my last day, this world is not perfect. And as unperfect and divided as it is right now, it is a big puzzle. But who is to blame for it? There are so many voids in our world, and those voids are not made by governments or by economic earthquakes or by political movements. No, those voids are made by the people who decide not to use their divine essence, to be the missing piece instead of becoming the masterpiece. And you quite rightly said, and this is a valid truth, and I believe that is true. For a vision, you can't blame anyone. If your vision doesn't become reality, it's only your fault because you've seen it in your mind when nobody else could, and takes a team to bring it out. So go out, find the people you need, create your team, because nobody works alone. Nobody could turn a dream into reality, a vision into a new economy working by themselves. Yes, you had the vision, but you need the team to work with. You need those people, you need the people who are where you want to be. And they could tell you, don't repeat my mistakes. You can make other mistakes, but don't repeat mine, because life is short. So why would you like to invent the wheel? Just
Absolutely.
find those people who are in front of you. When you go to networking events, when you enter new communities, you always find somebody who is exactly who you need in your team. And you know what? We are spoiled for choice. There's so much talent out there. There's so much greatness. It's just a question of making that step, stepping inside the networking world, and realize that the first question you have to ask yourself is what I bring at the table. What do I bring? And my friend, when you bring yourself, you need nothing else. All you need is to bring yourself together with all your visions, with everything you are made of, with your talent, with your perseverance, with your energy, with your honesty, with your creativity, with your kindness. And being kind to each other, I think, is the oxygen of any networking community. And if you don't believe me, ask the king of networking, ask Charlie. From both of
Thank
us,
you very
until
much,
next
Nina.
time, is goodbye.